Okay, excellent.
Welcome to the Guy Excellence first tier ranking video. This is the first of what may be many,
Maybe 4.
or maybe 9.
Maybe 5. Maybe just this one.
Yep.
So enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah. A little something different, spice it up.
So today we're doing Star Wars characters. And we decided to just do, a lot of people do every iteration of the character that exists, and then they rate them based on that iteration of the character. But we're just doing that character through the entire saga, their entire character.
So Anakin implies Darth Vader as well,
Darth Vader.
Everything.
His child form all the way up to him dying.
It's the character and their arc as a whole.
Yeah.
So.
All right, here we go. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Everyone got their drink? Everyone got their
Mine's
beverage? I got a little something left. You want to cheers me, boy?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
That was intense. Okay.
Let's do
so-
this.
Shattered.
Time to get controversial.
All right, starting with Anakin.
A good one.
Anakin is probably one of the best characters.
I would say SS.
I
I
would
think that's
say
like the
SS.
easiest.
I say
SS.
SS.
At least preemptively, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, like he
he's
is
just
the character.
He is.
Yeah.
It's about him.
It's
That's
about
what's
him,
up.
Yeah.
and he's great.
All right. Throw him up there as the king that he should be. Followed by a
Obi-Wan?
second.
I love
I
Obi-Wan.
mean, Obi-Wan.
I also feel Obi-Wan is SS.
Yeah,
And
I would
that's-
agree with
that.
that.
Might be a personal thing, just because like I've also read like Master and Apprentice
Yeah.
and stuff, but I love Obi-Wan.
And
I love
At the
him with
very
all my
least,
heart.
he's S. Like, there's
Oh,
no.
for sure.
arguing
I
with
would,
that.
I would
we
say
agree on?
SS.
SS.
I'd
I
say
agree
I'm
on
down with
SS.
SS.
And we
I
can
think
change
SS
it
is great.
later, but
Just based on Clone
right
Wars.
now, I'm saying
That's what's up.
absolutely, yeah.
All right,
Qui-Gon, I would
Qui-Gon
I would
is
make a
also
case.
quality.
Yeah,
Qui-Gon is
my
a
thing
good
is
character.
he's a great character, but you do only get like a pinch of him
Yeah.
unless
Yeah.
you go
And-
into in the
Unless you
comics.
search it out.
Yeah.
Right, so I would say just my initial thought would just be B, just because you get
Yeah.
enough of him.
I was
He's a great character,
Yeah.
but it's nothing like above and beyond.
Yeah.
Are we including like extended content? Like, do we want to factor that into our thought process?
If it's
Yeah.
canon.
Yeah, if it's canon, absolutely.
Master and Apprentice makes Qui-Gon one of my favorite characters of all time, right? And so I was gonna say at least A tier,
I
right?
was
And
gonna
maybe
say
that's
A
kind of
tier.
preemptive,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I
I
say
think
A
I would agree with Aiden on B tier, just because I haven't read that yet, and he is a great character, but he's a little static is the word. Like he doesn't really change a lot. You know,
Well,
Well, I mean, especially because he's only in
Yeah,
episode 1.
yeah,
for
and
the-
he's
But
not-
I'm also if you guys are really confident about A tier, then I'm willing for you to put
Yeah,
it.
I
yeah,
say
and I
A
would
tier
say
was fine.
that, like, to that point, you know, having read Master and Apprentice, to me, episode 1 now feels like that's like the end of his character.
Okay.
Right? Like
That is the end of his
he's
character.
already I mean, yeah, and so there's nothing more to happen there, and so.
Okay.
But what are we agreeing on?
I say
Sounds like
A
an
tier
okay.
because
Yeah.
of he's the first Jedi to ever figure out, oh hey, there's more after death that we can do and that we can control, and that's like
I think his significance,
especially
to
in the
universe.
Clone Wars
Yeah.
and him like interacting with Master Yoda
Yeah.
and talking to him about it, but then also what we don't know yet, but I can assume is going to be great when Obi-Wan goes to Tatooine to take care of Luke, but also talk to Qui-Gon
Right,
and figure
yeah.
out what's going on there. So I'd
See,
say A.
I agree with that.
A for
Yeah.
sure.
A, sweet. All right,
Ooh,
Padme.
Padme.
Woo, she's cute.
and that's something.
If it was cuteness, SS tier.
Padme.
I will make the bold claim of saying C tier.
Okay.
C.
C-
So, and something to like we should lay out is in my eyes, C is like the average.
Average.
Is like the bare. It's still good, but
Right.
not above. Like it is just the.
Yeah.
I would
precedent.
say
I would do it thus far. How I'm thinking about it is doing it comparative to who we have thus far,
Right.
and so that kind of makes me agree with that because I know she's not better than or on par with
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon,
Yeah.
Right.
right? And I don't know that someone just below Qui-Gon she would even
Yeah,
be.
I would say either B or C. Just because as far as like a character, a lot of her stuff does go like to serve Anakin.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and even in the Clone Wars, she's cool, and it's cooler to see
Yeah,
the more
absolutely.
diplomatic side of things. But you know, it doesn't. She's not really.
She doesn't
very
have
much,
all that much.
Yeah, there's
other
not a
than
lot.
And
of
I don't
Anakin.
like
Yeah.
politics.
So see,
See,
Yeah.
right by me. Sorry.
Yoda.
Yoda?
Still
Smoke.
quality.
Oh,
I think
SS.
SS.
Really?
Absolutely.
I absolutely think SS.
Yeah,
He
great
trains Luke
character.
on Dagobah. It's
Yeah.
the best thing that ever happens.
Yeah.
He's a Jedi
It's-
master. He jumps around like a
Even
freaking
in the
frog, dude.
prequels, he is great
Yep.
in everything.
He's great.
Like he is one of my he's like in my top
He's
3
pretty
favorite
good.
characters. So I would
love
say
it.
SS.
I mean, I'm ever since being a kid, Yoda is like the poster child for me as a child of what the Jedi Master is. Right? That's Yoda
Yeah.
to a T.
Yeah.
well,
Absolutely.
and he's great because he's literally like the Mr. Miyagi of Star Wars, where he's like has all the wisdom.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would say is because we don't see him as a protagonist and we don't get to necessarily see like his character arc or whatever like we would Anakin or Obi-Wan, that I think you can make a case for that reason that we put him in S tier because he's great, but I don't love watching him like I love watching Anakin.
And that's
Obi-Wan.
what I
That's
would have
true.
said is just
I honestly
like
would make that argument too.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
would say
fair.
S tier just because like he is an iconic character.
But
But-
that that frick.
Oops.
Go.
Um,
There's gonna be plenty of this. Don't worry.
he is an iconic character, but he's just like he's not as iconic as Anakin or as Obi-Wan. Or,
That's fair.
You know.
And I don't even know if it has to do with like iconicism,
Yeah.
but like his in my mind, I'm always thinking about like what do these characters learn and what do these characters go through. And Yoda for me, his biggest thing is learning that the Jedi can be wrong.
Yeah.
And to like as much as I hate The Last Jedi, the scene where he talks to Luke is very reflective of how his character kind of turns out in the end, of somebody who realizes that this religion that they've dedicated their entire life to can be wrong,
Right.
and sometimes they need to take a step back and look, and that's good, but it's not on the level of Anakin or Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Okay.
In there.
I can
and
agree
he
with
is
that.
just
Yeah,
more
if
like
S tier is perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, if
S tier-
majority says S tier, I'm okay with that.
S tier, great.
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar.
I'm interested to see this because
Jar Jar, the character of Jar Jar. This is my thing. Personally, it's like it's a whole different
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But if
trying
I'm
to
looking at it
balance-
objectively,
This is what-
then I can look.
Obviously, objectively, he's a horrendous
Objectively,
piece of
he's
shit.
not a good character.
Right, exactly.
I think-
but subjectively, it's like
I think
as a kid he was cool and he was fun.
Yeah.
yeah. Going off of that, I think if we balance the two out, I would put him in D tier.
Yeah,
It's not average.
as of right now because I wouldn't put him on par with Padme.
Yeah.
I would put him
Yeah.
below
Yeah.
Padme.
Yeah.
But I still like him. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be one of those people who think Jar Jar terrible.
Yeah.
But F tier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I agree. I
So-
would put him in D tier.
Okay,
personally.
At least preemptively,
I
because
can deal with
he is a
D-tier.
rough one. Because
Yeah.
I think he really depends on the character.
I think once we
around
get
him.
a good precedent of like what our average is in C tier, he might go down. But
Yeah.
right
Okay,
now,
I'm down
We're
for
up
D
with it.
tier right now.
Yeah, we'll say
Okay.
for now.
Okay.
Watto?
Watto.
I love Watto.
I would
Okay.
say, like, based on the fact that he is so unique, he has such strong charisma, right? And he does play an
I
effective
love
character
Watto.
in episode 1. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah,
I-
initially
I
I
would say
think
nothing past D tier for me.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say I would
I
say,
think.
He's not on the level of Padme.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like
agree.
if you're looking at him
Yeah.
as a character, like yeah, there's just not like he's fun to watch and he's enjoyable to watch, but there's not a lot other than that.
Yeah.
So I would
Yeah.
say D tier.
I would say low
can
D
see
tier,
that.
dropping down to E tier at some point.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, are we doing it in order? So
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
best.
Yeah. We'll
Okay, that's
order
fine.
it
Yeah,
at
we'll
the
get
end.
there.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. I
Okay.
would say I say
D tier. D tier for now.
D tier for now.
Alright.
Oh,
Okay.
Schmalpatine.
smelled.
I mean,
Oh,
okay.
he's a good one.
Here's the thing: is like he is the villain. He is the antagonist of Star Wars, and he has great moments, especially in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Like that's where he shines his brightest. But there are parts where I really don't like him, in like very specific parts of, like I don't know, mostly in the prequels, but I don't know.
love
That's
him
an
in the
interesting
prequels.
perspective. I
I
love
would
him
say
too.
S
Yeah.
tier, A tier.
I
would lean more towards A tier.
I would say S tier because I think
he's the smartest character
Yeah.
in this whole universe.
Yeah, and I think that what you know,
he's insane.
The big significant thing is like him at the end of his character arc is Palpatine. He's fucking he's the Emperor Palpatine.
And that's
bro.
why
He goes
so
from
dope.
literally like underground Sith politician. Like he at the beginning, like he was a Sith, but he wasn't like they didn't just bestow this power on him where he's just now you're just ultimate power.
Yeah. No.
He slowly like through I pretty much using the power that he has in politics to gain him actual political and like economic power. He is able to grow his own power as a Sith, which is
and I think that's just
amazing.
super cool as a character arc in general is to show us like you know, it's not just that here's this dude in this super complex time of culture and war and all of this. He doesn't just become powerful and take over the universe. He works his way up and he connives his way in.
And one of my favorite things about the prequels is watching like literally if you take out every moment where it's like a wink at the audience where it's like, oh, this guy's bad.
With great interest.
Yeah. But if you watch this character solely like as he would portray himself to other characters, there's no doubt that I would believe that guy. Yeah. You know, there's no doubt I would be like, oh, this is just a normal guy.
Well, and I think you would also, looking from Anakin's perspective, would be on his side of this man has kind of raised me and taught me like how this world works. Yeah, of course I would trust him.
Yeah, so I would say S tier because he, in a lot of ways, is like, to me, like the Sith equivalent of Yoda.
I agree.
So, yeah, I would say
that makes
S tier.
sense. That makes sense. I agree with that. I agree with that.
I
get on board with that.
Yeah, I can get on board with that, but I probably would have put him in A tier.
Okay. Mace Windu.
This is another character that I have so much personal bias for, of just being like one of my
really
favorite
He's
Jedi.
Really cool.
He's
one of the biggest thing that sets him apart. Purple lightsaber and form set.
That's
just
and it's just like
cool.
I feel like his fight with Palpatine alone is enough reason for him to be.
Yeah, it's so great. And like you said, one of my favorite things of like from the behind the scenes of Star Wars is when he's talking to George Lucas and he's all like, "What about purple?" He's like purple.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, exactly. So good.
It's so
turns to the camera.
I love Mace Windu, like as a character, and I think especially like I love like kind of the consistency of him in the Clone Wars and in the prequels.
Yeah.
There's definitely like you see a lot of that of like he's a very specific type of Jedi.
He's very like dogmatic.
Yeah.
Like he's following the rules, and he's like almost. I think Yoda. What's cool is as you watch the prequels, Yoda becomes more weary, and then in Episode 3, he really is like, "Oh, what have we done?" But Mace is always on the side of the Jedi.
Yeah, he's
the
completely
ultimate
faithful
on this side.
And I like the idea that a lot of that stems through the fact that he's played with the dark side, and that's amazing that he's pushed. Yeah, that he's like,
nope,
yeah,
that's the wrong number.
So I would say A tier. Yeah, with Qui-Gon. Yep,
agreed.
Okay.
A.
Bail.
We're gonna.
I would. My thing is, there's just not a lot of substance with him.
Yeah, you get like he's kind of like there. He's there to serve the plot of like he's just in charge. You know?
So I would almost say
the guy you go to ask questions.
So my first thought would be maybe C tier below Padme or high D tier.
I think I would put him below Padme, like in C tier.
Yeah.
Just because he is like. He in no way is a bad character.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's just
the fact that he's not.
He's
just not important. Yeah. Like he's important, but he's just not like he doesn't.
And that's kind of that's why
I might bump Padme up to B.
Really?
Honestly, I was thinking about that.
Put Bail in C.
That's what I was thinking.
Because Padme, I'm thinking like sense. Padme is important.
Yeah, well,
she's important.
Okay,
does that make her a good character?
I think so.
Yeah,
because think about sure. Think about Star Wars, you take prequels. You have the prequels. You take away the character of Padme.
Nothing happens.
Anakin never has that temptation.
Yeah.
One, they would probably never even go and
But
find
Emerson
Tatooine.
still does make a good point.
Yeah.
Just because she's significant doesn't mean she's great. And my thing is, she's also a character she's good. She's good. She gets her job done. She does it, and yeah. But I also am not opposed to putting her in B.
I like it. I just thinking from like an outside perspective because it's hard because we know these characters so well. But thinking of a politician who dips into this kind of aggressive negotiation style of going out into the field and actually solving mysteries and stuff. Like I'm thinking about
cool,
that,
and she is cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that Clone Wars episode when they poison the soda at the school on Mandalore.
That is a great.
And then she has to go and figure it out. Like she is so like in the field as a politician and going out and doing
I can
things.
appreciate that.
I would say
I
B.
agree.
I say B.
And then Bale and C. That makes sense.
Agreed.
Okay. Yeah, agreed.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
For now.
Sweet. Grievous.
Grievous.
Oh man.
Grievous' character.
Just conceptually,
Grievous is
so
amazing.
dope.
Good character.
Amazing.
So dope.
Like-
Well, he is a good character.
I think going off of the clone, like if we were just going off of episode 3, not great. Probably D tier.
Yeah, because he's
But going off-
there, he's just a bad guy.
Yeah, and he's just not. He's just very like cartoony. Ugh, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
But
you know?
he's a
again-
bad guy.
But
Again,
going off of
so dope.
yeah, he's really cool. But then I love the Clone Wars because they put so much more. And if you know his backstory of being like this war general who is now beyond crippled, like he is more robot than he is his race. I forget what they're called.
I can't remember.
But
not robot.
I love his him and Obi-Wan. I love how they play off each other of like a fact that like they are pretty similar in some ways. It's just the fact that their upbringing was so different.
Well, I think the biggest thing is they're kind of pitted against each other in the way of Obi-Wan is this general in the Grand Republic Army, and Grievous is kind of the opposite of him. And it's always a thing of like Grievous is kind of the mouse that they're chasing. And Sidious is really just letting Grievous take all of the pressure off of him. And so he's running around and he's constantly escaping them. Like every other episode of Clone Wars, it's like, got away again, you know? And so I think that makes him, being able to see him, and you're right, see him with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and see that relationship grow.
Well, and especially I think of like the episode where he kills that one. It's not a Padawan. I think they're like a recent Jedi Master by like locking blades with him and then shooting him with his other hand.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he is like super experienced, super smart, and like a really deadly threat.
Yeah,
there is something cool with that. He's not bound by any code of like the Sith, you know,
like he
it's
plays.
Like he just
so
gets
dirty.
to use lightsabers. You know, that's sick. And but without being like, you know,
I also,
like you said, he just plays dirty.
I like to think about. There's one episode when Asajj in the Clone Wars, when Asajj goes back to Dathomir to protect it from the CIS, and they're showing up to take over, and it's actually really cool, and all the Night Sisters are coming to attack, and she's there just winning. Is
she on this list? Is Asajj here?
No, none of the Clone Wars are here, which sucks. But that's cool because when I like to see Grievous like win, because he escapes and he gets out, but that's one thing where like Grievous shows up on this planet and he pretty much just says, all right, this is ours now, and he just demolishes everyone. It's
and that's
amazing.
and it's cool because that's nothing to him,
Yeah.
but that's like a significant part.
Okay,
of
so what do we think? What do we think?
I would
I
say
think A.
so.
I was thinking B.
I think B right with Padme.
I
was thinking above
I want
Padme,
to agree
B.
with Max because I love him and I want to put him in A, but I think B makes more sense just because he's not on the same tier of Mace Windu and Qui-Gon Jinn.
Okay, sure.
Oops.
That's the old clickaroonie.
All right, we'll put him here.
Sweet. Darth Maul.
Ooh.
Okay,
That's
here's the thing.
for
Prequel
me-
Darth Maul, you don't get a lot.
No,
He's
you
still
get nothing.
badass. But in Clone Wars,
And then
Darth
Rebels.
Maul,
And Rebels
Darth Maul,
Yeah, dude.
literally, his
for
arc,
me-
his arc,
season 7.
yeah,
Perfect.
his arc
So good.
through Clone Wars in through Rebels is one of my favorite arcs in Star Wars of all time,
Yeah.
and like he literally just becomes like me and Truman were talking about this when season 7 came out. When we were first watching it. He just becomes a crazy person by the end.
Yeah.
You know, he's literally just insane.
Yep.
And it's sick. So
Very cool to watch.
I mean,
I would
maniacal.
say A tier. Like
I would say
Really?
I would say
I
S tier.
they
Only
have okay.
A
Then I
tier?
agree.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, I was gonna say S
I would
tier.
yeah.
They really redeem his character.
Yeah.
Which was no one thought could be done.
Right.
But
Yeah.
they definitely
So
did.
yeah, I would
Yeah,
say
shout out
S
to-
tier.
Shout out to Sam Whitwer.
If you wanna
Amazing
come on the
voice
podcast.
acting.
If you want to come on the podcast,
Insane.
we'd love to
And
have
Ray
you.
would be
Park.
epic.
Ray Park, if you want to come on the
Both of them.
podcast.
That would be sick.
All right, S tier.
Dex.
Dexter. Dex.
He's really on the I would say D just because he fits in with those characters.
I think
so
he's a
well.
different type of D though. He's like
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
about like I don't really care and more about like I love him and like I
He's just cute.
He's cool, but like he's just there to he's a plot point.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a cool
Yeah.
plot.
I
That's
would-
what makes me want.
I would
He's
make
fun.
Yeah.
I would make the argument that he should go in C, just
Okay.
because I love him because he's like the perfect world building. Seeing his diner and
That's
seeing,
true.
That is really
seeing
true.
how he interacts with the Jedi and seeing how he
And
it
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
it goes really far to like show like you said world building, but specifically the world building of the prequels because there's such a big difference
seeing
between
Coruscant and like,
between you know the world pre Order 66 and post you know, and I like that there is that difference. So seeing that is cool.
and also
So I'm
he's
not-
got
The
forearms.
question
I would
is his pure like character building character on par with like Bail Organa
I would-
as an important
I would say so.
character. I could get on board
I
with
just
that.
don't.
Maybe
I
just-
just,
what I'm
I'd
not
either
saying-
say top of D tier
or
Yeah.
bottom,
bottom
of
of
C
C
tier.
I would
That's
say
what I was-
bottom of C tier. Just because
I'm okay with that for now.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't see. Yeah,
C tier being just
the
Regular.
average.
Count
Alright,
Dooku.
Count
Ooh,
Dooku.
That's hard.
He's
Count
cool.
Dooku
Okay,
is a good
he-
character.
he-
really good.
He is
really
interesting.
reminds me of when I
He
first
reminds me
think
of
of
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon and A tier. Like A tier is where I would
Really?
consider putting him.
Yeah. I think especially also after listening to the Dooku Jedi Lost audio drama, which is kind of bad, but it's just cool to see his backstory.
Mhm.
And if you watch it and love it, I don't care, and I'm sure you'll love it. Most people love it. I just did not. But like just seeing his backstory of you know being friends with Sifo Dyas and how he grew to think about the Jedi Order and how Yoda took him on as the first apprentice in forever. I just think that he has a really cool character arc
does.
too, which again
Yeah.
resulting
Yeah.
in what we see in the prequels is just super dope.
I agree that I think he's a very interesting character of like first of all how we said with Mace Windu of like Form 7 is dope. Form 2 so cool.
Yeah.
It is like the flashiest lightsaber form in my opinion at least. Like just seeing him
Especially when you
do
get to
that exactly when he does that shit.
do epic.
All
But I
right.
do think like I don't know. If I had to put him on a tier, I would probably put him top of B or low of A.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
that's what I was thinking. I was
Yeah.
thinking low of A, just because I think
Yeah.
he fits in with these characters really
Yeah.
well.
I
Yeah.
agree on A.
Eh.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting into just Jedi.
Yeah.
Jedi Masters. Kit
It's
Fisto.
Kit Fisto.
And this is
so
like
cute.
all
Personally, my favorite Jedi as a child.
really?
He
That's
was
funny.
totally my favorite.
I mean, he's fire in the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
Like
Well,
his squadron, the underwater
Yeah, yeah.
clones, they're
Yeah.
fine.
And just watching like the prequels and then looking at like comics of him
Mhm.
when he like I remember watching a comic of him like going to like underwater on a special mission and he just takes his shirt off and he's just shirtless
Yeah.
has two green lightsabers just
It's
walking
so
around.
sick.
Yeah.
I'm all, hey, that dude. And I play him all the time like a Star Wars game. As
Yeah.
a character, I think he specifically he's got good character in the Clone Wars. He doesn't have much character.
yeah.
Yeah.
But,
But what he
think
does have is good.
what he does have is like really fun to watch, and I'd say bottom of C or mid C.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I'd put him above Dex.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
Sweet.
but still in C.
Yes.
Plo Koon.
Plo Koon.
How you feel about Kit
Plo
Fisto
Koon.
is how I feel about Plo Koon.
Well,
Yeah.
Plo Koon,
I mean, it's a
I
very
think is
similar-
a better.
similar.
Yeah.
But I think he is a better character.
And I think
Definitely.
Yeah, and you get some
More.
really
yeah,
cool
and his
moments.
relation with Ahsoka
With this, yep, absolutely.
is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is so fire, and seeing him like in a very kind of, like we talk about a lot of like Jedi showing emotion and like use it, like how Qui-Gon is like this super emotional Jedi and like
Yeah.
uses that as like a form of power.
Yeah.
Plo Koon, to me at least, is the same way with his like fatherly love to Ahsoka.
Yeah.
At least that's how I see it.
I mean, wise in finding that, you know, finding balance in the Force is not about completely removing yourself from your
exactly.
emotions,
But
and your
just, like,
passions, but
yeah.
understanding them. It's
Yeah.
very similar to Qui-Gon.
Right.
I would say upper C tier.
I would put him at the top of C
I would
tier,
put
yeah.
him over Bale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's
what I'd
Agreed.
say.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
Okay. Sweet. Ayla Sakura doesn't get much at all.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
really
not
doesn't.
really.
As a,
anything.
she's cool. She got 2 lightsabers.
Yeah.
I just remember playing as her on Felucia on Battlefront 2, the original one. But that's about it. And
Yeah,
I'm
I
thinking
don't know.
like,
All I think
I'm
of
thinking
is
like,
I think
Yeah,
high.
pretty much.
I think high D tier just because there's not like
Yeah.
you get cool moments with her and she's cool, but you just don't get a lot. You know.
yeah, they don't
There's not much.
capitalize on the
Mhm.
on her.
yeah.
She
Yeah.
does get off.
I mean, if anything,
She
I'd
gets
say kind
off.
of low.
She gets
low
so
D.
off.
Low D
Yeah,
tier.
she
I,
really
yeah, I
gets
could.
fucked.
I would be fine with
better
low
than
D.
Jar Jar.
I don't think so.
I would.
Better than
Yeah,
Watto.
Yeah.
I would put her below Watto personally.
Yeah, me too.
I-
and
yeah.
I was on the side of liking Watto a little more than you guys anyway.
All right.
If
We'll
it were up
see.
to me, Watto would be in C tier.
Okay. Well, he can stay there. Right? Kiadi
Kiadi.
Mundi.
Ooh.
Also a
He's
character
also-
who
he's very similar to her.
Kinda,
he's
yeah.
kind of
He-
just,
Yeah. There's
he-
more. There's definitely
yeah.
more though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but he's cool.
I would. My initial thing. Ooh.
I think for me,
me
I
think,
like
actually.
him more because every Jedi on the council,
Yeah.
for me at least, like represents like a pillar of being a Jedi, and
Yeah.
his is like he's just so smart. Like he is
Yeah.
just so
He literally got big
incredibly
brain.
smart. Like he literally got a
Got
big brain.
2 big
He
hearts.
wasn't
literally
smart
got-
enough.
He got hearts and
He
wives.
realized
Yeah.
in that moment.
What is
I
it?
wasn't smart enough.
I think Star Wars theory or somebody posted about him. None of the Jedi Masters on the council are allowed to have wives. Well, none of the Jedi are allowed to have wives, but specifically them. But they allow Kiadi Mundi to have like 7 wives because his species is dying out. He has to repopulate.
I didn't know
So
that.
he just
That-
has
that's
7
so
wives
dope.
that he's coming home to. Like,
And that's why he's in C tier.
I don't know. I'd say bottom of C
Or
No, I'm joking with that.
or top
Yeah.
of D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
above Jar Jar.
I don't know.
I would personally put him at the bottom of C.
Honestly,
just because-
yeah, I would say bottom of C, but above her, above
That's
the
what-
lady.
You mean D?
Above-
Bottom of D.
Bottom of.
I was thinking D here. That's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
was thinking.
D is what I meant. D is
Oh,
what I meant.
Okay. I
Okay,
don't know.
I'm
I think
fine
he,
with
yeah,
that.
I think he goes alongside right here.
Yeah.
That's
he's
fair.
cool, but it's like
Yeah.
we don't get much.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay, let's do it.
Django.
Jango Fett.
Boba Fett.
Mm.
Go Fett.
Oh, he is pretty great.
He
I
is
like him.
cool, and I
He's
think
just cool.
chronologically, it's like our first introduction
I think-
to like the bounty hunter,
Yeah.
Yep.
and that's pretty.
I think
legit.
he is. I would put him above Plo Koon, even though I love Plo Koon. But I think he's not like just because he like
Battery dead.
does stuff.
Do you have
But
another battery?
I don't.
Then charge that one. No more video. You
No
just
more
get to hear
video.
us.
Get to watch. Epic.
We'll just put a little picture of us at the top,
a little drawing.
pretending to
Turn on
be
the
cool.
We could, or we could,
That's a
or
webcam.
or someone
it would
could-
just be Aiden and I.
Yeah.